A little advice. A little advice. Come on, yeah. Just a little advice. Just a little advice with Christine Little. Check it out.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Little Advice Podcast, a podcast where I, comedian Christine Little, gives advice to one of my guests. And it's only a little advice because I just have a BA in psychology, but I also read a lot of self-help books. And so I try to give people advice based on stuff that I've learned. Do I always use it? No, but I do my best. This is season number 2. What are you gonna do? Season number 2. And this is episode number 22 with a very funny comedian, Chelse. I think you guys are gonna really love hearing from her. She's got such a great personality, and we kind of run the gamut on things here. We talk about a new guy that she's seeing and if she should really open up her heart or just chill. And then we talk about her origin story into comedy, which is really interesting and I had no idea about myself. So I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. Also, if you like the podcast, please share, rate, leave a review, or slide into my DMs. I'd love to hear from you and anything else that you'd want to hear about on the podcast. I love listening to podcasts where I learned something, so hopefully you have the opportunity to do that with this podcast. And without further ado, here's episode number 22 with Chelse Greaux. Thank you guys so much for listening to A Little Advice. Hi, I'm sitting here with Chelse Greaux. Hi, Chelse.
Hi, Christine.
How's it going?
It's groovy, girl.
It is groovy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So your last name's Greaux.
Yes, it's Greaux. It doesn't look that way, but it's Greaux.
Is it French?
It is French, yeah. My grandfather was Puerto Rican, but his father was from the Virgin Islands, so he got the French last name. And then it all sauteed, and then...
Ooh, sauteed. Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Yes. Well, I've been told.
So too. Wow. We're already, learning so much about you. Chelse Greaux. Yeah, so if you haven't figured it out, her name has an X in it. One of those people.
One of those Creole-adjacent X's.
Creole crowns people. Yeah, that's cool. How was your day so far?
So far was good. Got to yoga and went to yoga. I recently just left a job that was sucking my soul dry. So it was this warehouse job that was 2 hours away, and for me, it was one of those things. I had a job before, but it was within cannabis, and they lost their license, and then
I heard about that place, and it was all comics, and it was the best job ever.
Yes, best job ever. And then I was there for 4 months. We're making good money, and I was didn't have to worry about any bills. Was getting up to speed, and then the day of them losing the license, they say, "Hey guys, this is everyone's last day. Sorry, no severance. Sorry, I know it sucks for you. We still have jobs though. We have jobs, but
we're good, so don't worry about us.
Yeah, we're fine. My house is great. My 2 cars are gonna be paid for. But you,
good luck finding food.
Yeah, good luck. Best wishes. And so that ended so abruptly, and then I had to hustle up the rent and it was really stressful. So then, 3 weeks after that, I lost that job. I got another job and I was fine, I'll take any job, right? Cause I thought, oh man, I've always been taught, you have to have a job. Being from the East Coast, and my dad, he's always been oh, if you don't have a job, you don't have this. But I had to get out of there cause it was cold in that warehouse, and I had to lift boxes, which again, I'm fine, but I'd rather get my cardio from Down Dog and Chaturanga. I'm not trying to
What's chaturanga?
Oh, it's when you're in plank position, but then you bend your elbows and you go low, not all the way to the ground, but you get very close to the ground and you hold. It's great, yeah. I'm trying to get them Angela Bassett arms, so
yeah, dude, I feel you.
Right.
What's love got to do with it?
Yeah. Oh girl,
my God, she had those big ass arms.
She is. Oh no, Angela Bassett is always. That is the body goal for
life goal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thanks for coming here today.
Thanks.
I'm really excited to have you. What's your problem?
Oh, girl. How long is this podcast? So, a problem I have is I recently did a show a few weeks ago, and it was my first time at this establishment, and the host offered to buy me a cocktail. He said, "Oh, what do you want to drink?" I said, I'll have a Maker's and ginger, right? Because I'm over 30 now, so I can't drink, whiskey because
Wait, pause too.
Yeah.
Was this payment too for the show? Because sometimes as comedians, we don't get paid in money. We get paid in drink tickets.
Yes, we do. Yeah, I didn't. This was not a paid show. This
Okay.
was a, So I think he felt bad. He was like, "Oh, well, I'll get you a drink." But I said Maker's and ginger because, I have things to do. Like, I'd rather just get, one good drink than, 12 terrible ones, because, I gotta bounce back. And
There's nothing wrong with that.
Is it right? And so he gets me a well whiskey and ginger, which I get it. It's fine. But I did drink it because, I didn't want to, make the whiskey feel bad, even though it was Barton's. But...
Barton's actually sponsors this podcast.
Okay. Well, bye, Barton. I don't drink your stuff, except in emergencies. But he then proceeded to bring me on stage. And before he did, he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, come to the stage right now. We got, hey, what's your name again? Rhonda?" And I was like, "No, it's Chelse." He said, "Well, I was close." And I'm like, "Yep, C and R, opposite ends of the alphabet." Just there's so many letters between C and R. There's a whole plethora. And then he said, "Well, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, I did buy Chelse a cocktail. I got her what did I get you? It was a whiskey ginger." He said, "Yeah, I got her a whiskey ginger. So you know what that means, Chelse? I'm gonna need that number."
Ew, are you kidding me? The host of this?
Girl, the host. First of all, he kept saying, "I'm gonna need that number," and I'm like, "Sir, I can't give you things you can't pronounce. Okay, it's ER." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need that number and that cookie." And I was like, first of all,
First of all, my number is 86 as an 86er.
86. Oh yeah, you went to restaurants, 86. Out. Nope, my number's out. We're out of my number. Just for you forever. Girl, and I was so I was probably in just a heightened sense of irritability because I just was like...
First he gives you the shitty whiskey.
Then
he doesn't remember your name.
Yeah.
And he blows it off. He's not funny probably.
Girl.
And then he says he needs your number.
My number?
You owe him because of a drink.
Because of a drink and the cookie. And then I go on stage and then something clicked and I got on stage and I went into this rant because I was like, I don't understand how you forgot my name and you bought me well whiskey, but yet you want my number and to get laid. If you can't afford Maker's Mark, you can't afford Pampers.
Oh,
It's that simple. And then the next thing you know, I was like, and there was a lot of guys in the audience too, a lot of black men in the audience, which I was.
How did they react?
Honestly, I thought that they were gonna be the women were doing backflips. There was Dominique Dawes up in there. They were like, "Yes, do it again, say it again." But the men, at first they were a little uncomfortable, but then by the end they were laughing too because they know what I'm saying is true. I feel like there's a lot of guys out here that want so much for nothing, and also too lately. In the past, I was meeting guys that were really trying to pressure you to have unprotected sex. I'm like, we just met today. And they don't know your middle name, your last name. They barely can say your first name. And they don't know your eye color, but you want to have unprotected sex. And it baffles me. So I just go into this whole thing about why would I break my body in half and risk childbirth to reproduce you and you can't even buy me top shelf alcohol? You haven't taken me on a date with
pronounce words.
Right. You can't enunciate. I don't want my kids to be illiterate. People think about this. And then everyone wants to call you a gold digger. Oh, you a gold digger because you want... No.
Oh, you and your standards.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Ooh, you don't want people inside your body.
What's wrong with you? And it's just... And I'm like... So my thing is, if I was a lioness, I compare it to lioness. Shout out to Lion King coming out, the new one.
I can't wait.
I can't wait. But Lion King, if I'm a lioness, right? Lionesses, just like all other female species, they're looking for a suitor. You have to make me feel okay, my amazing genes would mix well with your jeans, you know? And it's like, I'm not going, if I was a lion and I'm out here, I wouldn't date a lion or hook up with a lion or have cubs with a lion who can't fight, you know? Because in the wild, a man who can fight, that's currency. You know what I'm saying? In the wild, because if you can fight, you can protect my food, protect my young, protect me.
You can hunt.
You can hunt. Great, yes. A Mufasa. Let's have a Simba.
A good team, a good partnership.
A good partnership, right. But if you out here letting scars jack you up, like, I'm not gonna... Why would I have a cup with you? Why? It baffles me. And it's like, you know, it's like guys forget that, you know, being inside of a woman is amazing. You know, it's like, this is heaven. Every woman's vagina is an entryway to a portal of like heavenly arena. It is. It transcends you. Like, you know, a woman's vagina is healing. Okay. I mean, like, I once had sex with an atheist and he's back believing in God again. Like, you know, just like, girl, he was like,
We're gonna be contacting you after this. Oh no! I happen to have a bottle of Maker's Mark.
Actually, I got a whole plethora. He said, no Bartons here. And it's just, but that's the point though. And I think that, but that was what was wild. But the advice part comes because one of the other gentlemen, he was in the audience and he came up to me afterwards and he told me,
a normal person, not a comic.
Normal person, funny, very funny guy, but not a comedian. And he just told me, and I thought like, oh my gosh, like, I'd highly doubt a guy. You don't think you're going to go up there and speak the truth as a woman and be like, you know, firm and like the disciplinarian or in that way. And then he came up to me. He was just so like enamored with me and he just wanted to get to know me. So over the last few weeks, we've hung out a few times. There hasn't been any coitus, you know, but he can't afford Maker's Mark. And so, but he just really like, he's come over. We just kind of slept in the bed together. We didn't, and he just like, really like, he like FaceTimes me, like he wants to like see my face, you know, and like, and I guess the advice thing is that in the past for me, I haven't had the best track record, you know, dating wise. You know, I've never been in a serious relationship, been single my whole life, kind of, you know, whoop de whoop, and I have gotten really close. Like I've met guys, and I met in the last few years, I've been very like reserved to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm just going to let the guy do the things. And then basically like you have to work to get me to open up. Like, and maybe that's not fair or whatever, but that's just kind of where I'm at because I have, you know, dated a guy for months and months. And then all of a sudden it's like, he just Jekyll hides me. And now he's like a completely different character. So, but this guy, you know, he said something recently. He told me, he was like, you know, I see you trying to not care about me and it's okay. He was like, I get it. He was like, but I can tell that you do. And it wasn't from an arrogant place because he's told me he likes me. He's been very verbal about his feelings. But I guess my advice would be like, am I overthinking it? Am I giving him a fair chance? Because I feel myself like being like still very like guarded. That's the word. Yes, words. Guarded. So it's scary. It's scary because, you know, I think the fact that I was so myself in that moment and I was so vulnerable and I didn't give a F-U-C-K about...
He saw that and he saw you and he was all about you.
Yes, and I think in the past, I feel like guys have seen like a part of me or they've seen like maybe a watered down version of me or a little bit of me. And like, for me, I was like, the last thing I was thinking about in that moment was being attractive, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was like, wow, you really like me. You saw like raw me and you really like me. And I'm like still working on myself and going through a transition of my life right now. And so I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I like him, but I can't. I feel like I can't tell him. I don't know. I guess my advice is like, should I just continue to just chillax and just let things happen? Or, you know, am I being too guarded? I guess that would be it.
I think there's a lot of variables that go into this. So yeah. What do you mean you feel like you can't tell him?
I feel like in the past, whenever the second that I start to open up, like a guy will work. He'll work for my attention, work to show me that he likes me, or work to show me that he cares, and like, you know, just put all this effort in. And I feel like the second that I say, okay, I exhale and say, okay, you know what? I like you too. It's like they switch. And like, I'm scared of like the switch.
It's like when you feel like they get the power in the relationship and then they abuse it.
Abuse it, yes.
I mean, yeah, I totally know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Are you seeing any other people?
I'm not, but I've just been so focused on like really like transitioning my life and getting out of that crappy job and getting back into myself, and I guess I haven't just really even thought about, like, honestly, I wouldn't be talking to him if he hadn't like approached me. So
you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
You got a lot of different things going on.
I definitely do. It's
yeah.
a lot. Oh no, in my head and in life, but yeah.
Yeah. And you're used to, fending for yourself, taking care of yourself, doing what you need to do.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Right. So, I can relate to this pretty hard. It's hard to like open up and be like, hey, this is how I feel, especially if a dude like, you never know what's going to happen after that point.
Yeah.
But he knows that you do like him.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, he knows, but I think he knows from my behavior, not because I have verbally said it.
It's different. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's almost different. Like with women, when we say shit, like we mean it. Like we're like, look, I like you. It's out there. But with guys, I think they feel it in the moment and they say it. Yeah. But what really matters is how they're acting, how they're being, because they get so caught up. Have you ever been like hooking up with a guy and he's like, oh my God, like he's saying all this crazy shit. It's like, you weren't saying that when you weren't inside me.
Right. When you was outside the corridor, you was real tight-lipped. And now all of a sudden you're singing a canary. Like, I can't. Yeah. These canary-ass cornballs, girl. I can't.
So, I don't know, Chelsea. It seems like you're doing what you need to do to protect yourself. Do you think it's a problem?
I think, like, okay, one of the owner of my yoga studio that I go to, like, I've known her for coming up on a year. She's cool and stuff, like, and she told me today after yoga class, she said that she had a dream about me last night. And then she said she was totally weird. She's like, I don't know why you're in my dream, but she was like, in the dream, you and I we were roommates in this house, and then I came up, and then you were in the room reading a book and laughing and cuddling with a guy. And she told me this morning after class, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it kind of made me think about the guy, and then because that's what we've been doing. We lay in the bed, and we talk, and we hang out, and we joke, and yeah. And so, I don't know, like, I was like, she's, maybe, who knows, girl? Who knows? Well, I did think that was interesting, though, that she told me that this morning.
It seems like you guys have had some really intimate, special moments, even without going any further. And I love that he's, like, seen you in your realest form. Like, I don't know about you, but, like, as a comedian, having a guy that I like see me perform, it's, like, it's a big deal.
It really is.
It's like you're talking about stuff you don't normally talk. Like, you're just putting yourself out there. And for a guy to see that could be intimidating for him. It could be like, whoa, what was that about,
Yeah, like, don't make any jokes about me. And it's like... I've been doing this. Sir, I just met you 3 minutes ago. Like, don't make any jokes about me. But I get it, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like he's a pretty cool guy, and I think...
Yeah, he's cool. He definitely he's a cool guy, yeah.
The sense he said that, like, look, I can tell that you like me, but you don't want to say anything about it. Seems like he's not, it doesn't seem like he's pressuring you to do anything else you don't want to do.
Not.
And I really, really love that. And it's like, I'm the kind of person, do you believe in that it's like whatever's meant to be is going to be or whatever?
Absolutely.
So it's like, I think that like, he'll hopefully, part of him stepping up is continuing to meet you where you are and not pushing you to do something you're just not there to do yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that when you have opened up, maybe in the past, it's been like, maybe you haven't had that time to get to know the guy really before that happens, and then it could flip easier. I'm not sure if that's the case.
No, you're on the money. You're on the money, yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that it's a good idea to say any more than what you feel, but your actions are showing it, and I think that's a big deal.
Thank you so much, girl.
I mean, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just, sometimes you need to hear somebody else say this stuff, because, it's like, eats like ego and like all that stuff up there going, ooh.
I feel you. And then it's like, sometimes when you hold that stuff in, it feels like you still have some sort of power or control over the situation.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like my friends that, you know, I've seen like fall in love and all that stuff. That's the thing they told me. They're like, you and these are strong women too who are used to having control, and it's like, but I think love just in general, and I think it's all love, like romantic love with like your family, love with like, you know, friends. I think all love is an area where you have to let go of control. You can't. Yeah. Love doesn't work like that way. Like true love is like, it's freedom, you know, so even like from a parent to a child perspective, like, you know, when I said I wanted to move to LA, my mom was like, you know what, baby, go, I love you, you know, be free, like, you know. But then on the flip side, I feel like my father, who also loves me, my father was trying to restrict me and pressure me into staying, and, you know, putting fear in my head about, oh, this is going to happen, or what if that happens, or what if this goes wrong, and, you know, and what if you fail, and it's like, I think that they both love me, but I think my father was coming from a place of love, trying to control, and my mother's coming from a place of like love, trying, like letting go and freedom, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And he's probably loving to the best of his ability, you know, just trying to protect and thinking that's the right thing to do. But yeah. Damn. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. I'd say like continue to go at your own pace and what you're comfortable with. But I do like that he seems like he's been like showing up and being there. Just like continue to see how that plays out without going into fantasy land, which is so hard.
Oh, I meant to tell you, I love one of my favorite bits that you do is the one where you're like, when you know, guy, you meet a guy and then you plan the wedding and the kids in your head, and then so when he like breaks up with you or he cuts it off, it's like you just destroy the whole family.
I totally forgot about that bit.
Oh my gosh, I never knew that.
Oh my god, I forgot about that bit. I haven't done that in years. I don't even remember. I think it was making me seem too psycho. And I noticed the guys would be like,
girl, no, girl, I love that bit because it's real. It's real. So many women do that, and it's just because women, you know, we're planners. I don't think we're women. We're the ones who are like, okay, all right, I have to do this, this, and this. Okay, we gotta go to run this errand, pick this. You know, guys just be like, oh, let me just flow through life, and because they're men, and society's made up to make sure that men always have like a pillow to fall on. Then they're like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. But I relate to that. You know, I have been there, and I know plenty of other women. I've had plenty of girl talk sessions where you go there, and it's natural because, you know, you get excited, especially if you're a woman who's used to meeting a bunch of like losers back to back, and you meet one that's actually kind of decent.
And then you're also trying to see, like, is this worth investing in emotionally? It's like
exactly
when we invest, we're really there, we're really showing up, and we're kind of like connected and bonded to this person. So it's like you're trying to project and keep yourself safe as much as possible. So you're like, could I see him being a father? Like, where would he show up? How would this happen? Whatever. So next thing you know, you're in not like fantasy land, and it's not even the guy. It's like your version of who he could be.
You're exactly this, but you're like fantasizing about the potential. You know, you're like, oh, he's potentially could be like a good,
And that's why I think it's good too to like have. I mean, I am not great at doing this, but I think it is good to like have some other options so that you're not like putting, because it's like when it's spread apart over other guys, it's like you're not putting too much pressure on one person.
I agree.
It's not like you're sleeping with all these guys or anything like that. It's just like you're really getting to know people on like a friendship, genuine level. And see how it goes.
No, I agree. And now there is like, it's so funny, another throwback. I had a throwback hit me up. This guy, me and this guy, we never hooked up because, you know, 3 years ago when I met him, he was like, you know, talking, and then I found out that he had a girlfriend that he lived with, and I was like, oh, okay, cut that off.
See you know, later.
Yeah. I'm glad like I said, we didn't hook up. Whew, thank God. But he definitely like.
I had a guy like that too. He's like, oh yeah, so and so said that you were like interested. I was like, I mean, I guess, I don't know. And he's like, do you live with anyone? I was like, oh yeah, I've got a room. This was years and years ago. I was like, yeah, I got a roommate. He's like, oh. I was like, cool. Do you live with anyone? He's like, yeah, my girlfriend. I was like, why the fuck is this guy?
Why is this conversation?
Why are you talking? What is this about?
What are you doing? What? And he kept telling me, he's like, but I really like you. And you know what I told him? I said, listen, I was like, you clearly have a lot going on. And I said, if you're ever single and you don't live with a woman anymore, I said, then hit me up.
I still don't want to talk to you because you're the kind of guy that lives with a woman and tries to hit up with other women.
Right. But I said that to him because I thought he would never do it. I was like, oh, this guy's never, ever going to move out with his house, his baby mama. I'm like, this guy is never. I was like, yeah, so sure. I make this obscure goal. Girl, he called me a week ago. I haven't talked to this dude in like 18 months, haven't seen, whatever. And he called me, he was like, hey, guess who's single? And I'm like, I don't know.
Not me. I've moved on. It's been 18 months. Would he think you were just sitting there waiting, like marking off the calendar? Like,
right.
Oh, I can't wait till this guy moves out with this girl.
Girl, right. Well, the thing is, now this is what the gag is. So the gag is that at the end of last year, he called me and said that he had broken up with his girlfriend. And I said, oh, do you still live together? He was like, well, yeah, but, we're broken up. And I was like, okay, then you're not single. Bye-bye. And again, I never thought. I just thought, okay, you're like, a loser. You'll just fade away. And so, girl, a week ago, he calls me, he tells me, like, he's single. And he was like, and I got my own place. He was like, it's my own place. I got my own apartment now. It's in Hawthorne. And so then he's like, so, he said, so don't be a stranger.
You know what? I think when they go through a breakup, guys like go through their old girls and they're just trying to find the easiest thing to get. It's like if you already have something going with a guy like in the past, it's like easier, less effort because they've already like put in some of the groundwork.
Yeah.
And it's like comfortable, so they're just flipping through. Man, I've had guys hit me up from like elementary school.
Girl, right.
Like, what are you doing?
From a different state. Like, what? Like, I haven't seen you since the 90s. Like,
I don't know who you are.
It's like, it just baffles me that I was like, I'm a comedian, so like I'm a sucker for this kind of conversation.
I love attention,
but I was a sucker because I'm like, this is gonna be material. Like this, This has to be. There's something here, because it's like for it's been almost 3 years, like really since I first met you, and all you've done is like spout BS, and then it's so funny to me that he just really like thinks that, oh hey, just so you know, I'm now ready to hook up, or I'm now ready to hang out. So, and I was in the grocery store, I was looking at bread, and I was very distracted. So I was like, he's like, oh, is this a bad time? I feel like you're not really engaged in this conversation. And I'm like, yeah, I'm
that
looking.
guy sounds insane.
Girl.
He's like, I feel like you're not really invested, and I've been calling you once every 3 years.
Right.
I think I deserve a little bit. I mean, I bought you, like, liquor.
I got you Bartons, 2 of them.
I had a similar thing. I was at a show, and this guy was like doing this whole bit about like, how like guys do bits about like, we get them dinner and they don't sleep with us, so what the hell? And I got up and I was like, you really want a girl that's gonna sleep with you because you bought her some chicken?
Right.
Like,
Thank you.
What is? You think that she's worth chicken? Is that what you want?
Girl, right. She's not even going to eat it. Most of the time, these girls that they be taking to these nice restaurants, like, it gets under my skin. Just because I'm a huge food. I love food.
Yeah.
I love food. Like, oh, man. And, like, I have passed up on some dick for some food. Like, I have been like, you know what? This tartare is bomb. Tuna tartare is, I'm about to hit this. Sorry, Charles, but, and, I mean, I just really, it's like it's like I've seen girls on Instagram, they'll post that they're on this date, right? And they're those like arm candy girls, they've got the perfect body, because they don't eat and they just, do cocaine all the time. And so, and then they just sit there and they take pictures of food they can't pronounce. Like, look, my tuna tari. Like, girl, it aggravates me. I'm like, you're not even going to eat that. Just, like, these guys, they'll spend like $300 on a dinner and she doesn't eat. And I'm like, oh, that's so much food. That's just.
That gives me a business idea.
Right.
Like, let me be your food buddy, like your date buddy. I'll go out with you. I'll eat the food.
Girl, yes.
You can go out.
You and the guy can have a date. You just pass me the plates, and girl, thank you. Yes. Everything. You take your little one bite for your little Instagram pic and pass me all the tuna taris, and
it'll be called pick and pass.
Yes. Come on. That is it.
Hey, I think we just made something big.
Girl, I'm all about pick and pass, okay? Because I would be like, especially because
pick and pass.
I will eat, and it's so much good food. And I'm talking like top shelf restaurants like Catch and like Petit Mertage and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, what? These entrees are not going to be consumed by this girl, okay? Mm-hmm. She's going to go to the bathroom, she's going to consume 6 lines, and that's dinner. Snort.
Hilarious. Hilarious. I mean, they look great, though.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I had high risk for heart attack, but...
Honestly, I feel like I'm in high risk for heart attack with all the sweet and sugar that I eat. So it's like one person's having fun and losing weight, and I'm just like... dying slowly. But I'm having a great time.
Great.
We're both having a great time.
Exactly.
Okay, so what... Has any of this helped? I mean, I feel like we've just been kind of shooting the shit, but
yeah.
Are there any takeaways or any other thoughts that you might have about this?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that, again, like, I think owning myself, you know what I'm saying, is like I'm in this transit again. Maybe because I just turned 30 and I'm just really in that, you know, they say
that's tough.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's refreshing because like when I woke up on my 30th birthday, a bunch of fucks had fallen off of me. I was like, why do I feel lighter? Like, okay, I was like, okay, shake it off.
You cracked me up.
Girl, because I was like, okay, that's on the ground. It's like no, literally overnight. It was refreshing. So I think maybe that's what it is like, you know, because, you know, my mom always told me, you know, growing up, she's like, love yourself, you know, make sure you love yourself first. And they tell you women that all the time. And when you're younger, it seems like an asinine thing because you don't think that you don't love yourself. You're like, what are you talking about?
I still haven't really completely grasped that concept.
Well, you know, when I realized, and this is why I love having gay men in my life, because they give you, like, the tea, girl. And so I was working, one of this guy's from my acting class, and he has, like, sugar daddies, so he goes to all these VIP events, you know. And he told me that he saw Susan Sarandon come into a party, right? He said she got there, like, you know, later than everyone else. But he said she walked in the room and everything like stopped. He said, I felt like everyone just stopped and looked, and then all of a sudden everybody just had their eyes on her. She had some little 22-year-old little boy that probably like plays a bunch of other 20-year-old girls and 19-year-old girls, but he was up under her like a puppy. She was like, go get me a martini. He was like, okay, do you want olives? Do you want onions? Okay, do you want to stir it, shaken? I can go make it. I'm going to get behind the bar and make it like that. And literally just... And he said she sat there and everyone was just enamored. And he said she had this essence. And he was like, but, you know, when she does interviews, she just talks about, like, you know, the second that she stepped into herself and really, really started to love and own herself, you know, and not make apologies for it. You know, even if she makes a mistake, whatever, it's like, no, I love me so much that that's gonna just radiate off. And then so everyone's all in her face. I'm like, oh my God, it's a weapon. It's a secret weapon. Like, really, I get what my mom is saying now. It's like, because I do feel more powerful when I take those times to like show myself self-love. Like, even just going to yoga.
Well, this makes a really good point then. It's like when you're feeling powerful by showing yourself that love, it'll get you to a place where you feel more comfortable expressing how you feel, because you know that no one can take that away from you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, because it's coming from the inside.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm not, you know, of course, when I was like younger, like, you know, maybe 10 years ago, I was definitely in that space where I felt like I needed a guy in my life for that kind of validation, or I needed to have this person, you know, to be like, oh yeah, see, I'm validated. I'm someone's girlfriend, or I'm someone's, you know, whatever label. And just as I've gotten older, it's like, you know, sometimes I think that this happened, you know, maybe I've never been in a serious relationship because that's how imperative it was for me to just really like fall in love with myself. And now I'm all about me, you know. I'm like, no, did I take time to like meditate? Did I take time to, you know, eat the right food today. Like, I just made a new rule for myself today. Because I gain weight in my stomach, so I get that cake pop, shape. So I'm trying to slim it down a little bit. But for myself, just because I feel more comfortable. And also shopping's more fun. So
I feel you. I know what you mean.
It's way more fun when
I like being able to feel my body and start. I'm like, oh my God, I love the way my legs feel.
Yeah.
You look fine like that. I'm like, this isn't about you.
This is right. Oh man, guys like, oh well, you're fine. You're no, it's not. No, I need to be able to close my jeans and sit down and not feel like I am
gonna die.
Like I'm gonna get my appendix is gonna explode. Like it's like simple things like that. Mm-hmm. So I do like my sippy sips of the alcoholic kind, but I have made a new rule that I am no longer going to. I'm allowed to drink alcohol as long as I drink a gallon of water that day.
Okay.
Yes, and I've done that before in the past, and I felt way better because sometimes you never realize how much dehydration, affects you. I didn't even know until recently that when you are dehydrated, you can eat more because you think, hunger and thirst. You're hungry, but you're really just dehydrated.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
They say to drink a glass of water before you eat a meal.
Absolutely.
Do I ever do that? No, absolutely not.
Girl,
but
we know.
They say to do it, and that's important.
I know all the they says. They say this and they say, but
all the they say. Where are you from again?
I'm from Northern Virginia by DC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what you're from. Your lingo is hilarious. I'm like, where is this from?
Oh, girl,
is this Oakland? It's not. I'm like, Chicago?
Girl, it's funny you mention Oakland because when I've visited Oakland and the Bay, I definitely feel like it's that vibe is similar to the lingo of the East Coast.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe it's because they get cold. It gets cold up there. I think cold weather just makes you wittier.
I'm from Indiana.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, I see that.
The funny
people from Alaska are probably on point.
Killing it.
Antarctica, they're just telepathic.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's cold and you're like, oh, laughter will make me warm up. So how about them chips? I don't
All right. So main takeaway, self-love. Main
takeaway, self-love is the best love, but our self-love is, I think it's the key to just inviting more love into your life in general from all different sources. I think that's the takeaway.
So what are you going to do about this guy?
I'm going to continue to do me. And I'm going to continue to, we talk, we'll just continue to talk and hang out and see what happens. No pressure. Definitely not going to hit up Throwback Thursday. Mr. It's been 18 months and now I'm finally single and I finally got an apartment. Now I want you to come spend money to come to Hawthorne. I'm like, yeah. And so definitely going to just...
Throwback Thursday. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, well, we're going to take a quick little break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about how you write your jokes and come up with your funny little boop, beep, boop, boop. When we come back to A Little Advice. Hi, guys. Thank you again for listening to A Little Advice podcast. If you're having a good time, please rate, subscribe, share, and leave a little review. It'll help more people find the podcast, and maybe it'll help them in some way. If you'd like to see me do comedy in person, I'll be in Edmonton in Canada on January 17th and 18th, and I'll be at Flappers in Burbank on Saturday, January 26th. For more info, you can check my website, christinelittle.net. Also, please don't forget to check out Chelse Greaux' new album, Down Dog, available everywhere where you can buy comedy albums. Thank you so much. And we are back, like a whole conversation later. You guys totally missed what we were talking about.
It was pretty dope.
It was good. Oh, good times. Anyway.
So anyway.
I'm still working out the kinks of being a podcast coach. I don't know if you picked up on that or not. All right, so let's talk about your creative process, your writing process. When you come up with new jokes, I feel like you're kind of a comic that writes a lot, and you're always doing some new shit. You're all out doing stuff. How do you come up with your bits?
I think my writing style is going through a transition as well. But for primarily what I do is because I have my phone, like when I get an impulse or I get a thought, right, I'll write down it's usually a premise, or sometimes I'll get the punchline first and then I'll have to work backwards. I write it down on my phone and then I go back and then I'll like write it down in a notebook and I'll flesh it out and I'll be like, okay, like what, and I'll just
give me an example.
Like, okay, example. So I'll do one of my old bits for an example, just for like perspective. Okay. So my bit called The Struggle, that's one of my first bits that I wrote, right? Mm-hmm. So it came out of a conversation with a friend, and I was like, oh, I'm so broke, and I'm on the struggle diet, and then, she laughed, and I was like, oh, maybe there's something there, so I wrote it down, and for a while, that was all I was saying, right? But then, I got another idea when people started asking me, oh, how does the struggle diet work? Like, people were legit asking me, like, if it was Atkins or something, like, they wanted instructions, and I'm just like, I don't know, be broke and survive. And so then I realized, oh man, like, I started writing that down. So these were the things that I was saying separately. I'd say, I have the struggle diet. And then I was like, oh, people ask me about this diet. I was like, oh no, I can put these two together. Yeah. So then, I think it's a lot of writing and editing, but when I write, I'll go and then work it out. And then it's like focusing on that bit, and that's the transition that I'm focusing on, because before, for a long time, I would write multiple premises and then I'd say, oh, okay, what about this bit? And then I talk about this next topic, and they're completely different topics. But I mean, I felt like, oh, let me just riff through these 5 topics in these 5 minutes and see what comes out. And then because I record everything, I do record all my sets, mics and shows, and I go back and I listen, and then I'll edit from there.
When do you go back and listen? Is it like right after a show, or do you have like a set time during the week?
I really work on like not listening to it that night, just because you're already still in your head and you're still you're either on a high from a great set or a low from a little set. So.
Yeah, and then it's like if it's a high, you listen to it, you're like a crush, and you're like, this is good. I mean, but it's like
you got it.
In my mind, it was better, or it was like that sucked, and you're like, okay, this wasn't as bad as I thought.
That's exactly what happens. So I feel like I'm now at the point where it's much easier for me to sleep on it. Mm-hmm. And then, within the next 1 to 2 days, then go back and listen and then edit and then try the new bits. Because I always, when I listen to my material after the fact, I always come up with all of a sudden something else, because I get to be an audience member now by listening to my set. Yeah. It's like when you watch other comics perform, you're like, oh, you come up to them afterwards, you're like, hey, you could say this, you give them tags, because I was just receiving the information. You don't have time to think when you're on stage. You have to be like present, and and if you are thinking, you're thinking about.
Unless you're in the flow, and then you can furlough.
It's just the flow. New t-shirt, furlough.
If you're in the flow, then sometimes things just come out and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, you're like,
tag I've never done. But it's good to keep listening and reflecting back, because that bit you told me about, that I totally forgot. I thought I just had the same bits, but things kind of naturally fall away
because it's like your head has so much capacity, you're focusing, and when you get new material and you're excited about it, like that's the thing, like
new joke energy,
it's real. It's like it's like new dick energy, or you're like, oh, okay, girl, let's go for a run, like but yeah, like I think I'd say that is the best thing for my process is write the premise, write it in a notebook, like, the general idea, perform it a couple times, and then listen, and then just keep listening and editing. And I do now realize it's gotten a lot easier for me to let go of bits if I feel like they're not connecting. Because I can be excited about something or think, oh, there's something there. But if I work it out a few times, and it's not even so much about the crowd reaction, it's about, my gut is pretty good about saying, if you did that at a show, that would have gone well. Or it doesn't matter if this is an open mic, it's just no one's vibing, I'm not vibing it. You can tell the difference. So I think that helped a lot, because I would for a while I would hold on to like bits and be like, no, it's gonna work. And what's so funny? I feel like I let go of some of those bits, and then a year goes by, or 2 years go by, and I'm writing something else, and it comes flooding back, and now I have a whole new perspective on it. So, but just listening is the key. I think that is the thing that's helped me the most grow as a comedian over these last 6 years.
It seems like it's not just listening to your old sets, but listening when you're talking to people for you to even know, like, oh, there's something there. And then when the audience members come up to you and say, tell me about the struggle diet, and you're like, oh, it's just this. And you're like, oh, that was a good response.
Yes.
Like, sometimes I don't even think like that. Or it's hard to even know how to take this thing that's happening that's now and put that into a joke form so that everyone can understand it.
Exactly.
So that's a really good skill.
No, definitely. And I think I used to work at a news station in Virginia. Yeah, I used to be an associate producer for this CBS affiliate. And one of the things that I learned from that, and also in college I majored in broadcast journalism, so they kind of pounded that into us, that they're like, when you watch the news, they're like, you need to, frame your words and your writing so that the dumbest person in the world can understand it, but it's still. And then you think about it, you're like, wait, I watch CNN. I don't feel like they sound stupid on there, but they found a way to present this information so that, Tom, Dick, and Dummy can like listen to it and be like, oh man, like I get it. And I think so.
Tom, Dick, and Dummy.
Tom, Dick, and Dummy. TDD. And I think that has kind of been my mindset. I mean, even if I want to go back further, like to like high school, my favorite teacher, Mr. Kasich. Shout out Mr. Kasich if you hear this.
Oh, actually, Mr. Kasich is constantly writing me about this podcast. Hey, Kasich.
Hey, Kasich. He was the coolest dude. He was like a skinny Santa. He had a long beard. Never wore socks. Like, he was like so cool. But he would have us write. He'd give us a topic. He'd say, okay, write about your favorite color, your first kiss or whatever, and write it in 3 pages. And so we'd write 3 pages, and he said, okay, now go back and cut that in half to a page and a half. And we'd be like, wait, what? And you're like, but all this is, and you're like, oh, this is good. He's like, nope, you don't, I guarantee you don't need all that stuff. So then he put a page and a half. He's like, okay, now cut it down to half a page. Okay, now cut it down to a sentence. And then it's like, so those are the kind of exercises that we would do.
That's amazing. Who knew that he was training you to do stand-up?
Girl, right. I'm like,
mind-boggling. That's crazy.
It's so crazy. And so that I've became obsessed with like how to say it in less words. He was like, there's times and places when, you got to write like a 10-page paper or a thesis or whatever. He was like, but most of the things, he said, you can, finding the words that you can eliminate, he said, and so you can get to the meat. He was like, because there's fat. And I know other stand-up comedians have talked about that too. I think Jerry Seinfeld's talked about that.
That's like a big part of what we do, is just getting to the point as concisely as you can. So when there's all these words around it, people can't hear it. Or you can't,
they can't hear it. It's distracting. It's distracting, so it's kind of like, that's the goal when like in news, when you're writing, it's like, okay, what's the meat? What's the, because you got a half hour to cover like how many news stories or topics, and it's the same thing. It's like, as a comedian, you have multiple things you want to talk about in that 20 minutes or half hour or hour or 10 minutes or whatever. So it's like being able to decide, okay, no, this is what I'm focusing on, and this, I'm going to say it in these words. And when you think about comedians that I think are the funniest that I love to watch, like, do you know Deborah DiGiovanni? Deborah DiGiovanni, yes.
Is it DiGiovanni?
There's a D.
We know who he is. We know who he is.
There's a D and an I and then Giovanni. So
Giovanni.
And she
she's funny.
She's so funny, and it's like every time I see her perform, it's just boom, 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 punchline by the time, and you're like, oh my god. She was up there for 15 minutes. I thought she was up there for like an hour, but not really. It didn't feel like an hour. It was just so much laughter. You're like, I'm exhausted from laughing so much. But it's like she's found the way to like just make things so concise and be like, nope, boom, boom. And you feel like you're getting all meat. It's like a steak sandwich. Her comedy's like a steak sandwich with no bread. It's just steak, steak, and steak. Maybe a little carne asada and like steak. It's good, yeah.
So what happened with the broadcasting thing? I never knew any of this. I love talking to different comics because they have all these like secret lives that I had no idea about. I'll be like, I was in the military. I've got 3 kids. I'm like, you're married? Like, it's like, oh my god.
Oh, the kid thing is a trip, girl. Because I've bet so many times. I'm like, yeah, I got 2 sons, and I'm like, you just asked me for $20. Like, what? Clearly, I changed child support.
But so what happened with that? That's so interesting.
Well. So when I went to college, I wanted to major in theater, I wanted to say, I want to be a theater actor.
Of course, yes.
And my dad was not having it.
Are your parents still together?
Oh, no, girl. They got divorced when I was like 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because they're like on opposite ends of the spectrum here.
Yeah, so it's like, so that's two unique DNAs wrapped up in here. So it's constantly a conflict. But yeah, my dad was like, no, you need to major in something that you're going to be able to make real money off of and accountable money and that, money, right? And so for me, I decided to major in broadcast journalism because for me, I felt like I was satisfying everybody. I get to be on TV. I get to, because my goal was to be a TV reporter. I wanted to be sold at O'Brien, like one day I was like, I loved CNN as a kid. I'd like watch American Morning and I love her and love her docuseries and stuff. So I was like, oh wow, I could be sold at O'Brien and I could be on CNN one day and I'll be, on TV and I'll get to, that in my way was satisfying that performance urge I knew I had. But, it's a steady paycheck. So I thought, okay, I can do that. And I loved telling the truth. That's one of the things I loved about, CNN and the things that they would put out. And because I'm like, okay, they're telling people the truth. They're telling people like it is. You get to keep it real when you work for the news, no BS. And then I worked for an actual news station. And what I realized, was that you don't have that freedom when you work for a news station because how do you think news stations make money? Advertisement. And there is supposed to be a separation between advertisement and the news, but as years have gone on, there's been a lot of bleeding, over in that. And so there was a segment that I had produced. We had the show I worked on was a local Today Show kind of vibe, And we had a segment where I had a nutritionist come on and talking about high fructose corn syrup, right? I had just learned about it at the time, and I was obsessed about making sure I wasn't eating it and reading labels. And came across this nutritionist, board certified, had a PhD, is a legit person. And so she comes on and she does a segment, and all she did was saying instead of having this, she didn't know any brands. She's like, instead of having this chocolate candy bar, you could eat this bowl of strawberries, and you can get more volume from this. You can eat way more strawberries for way less calories. And you're getting real sugar as opposed to artificial sugar. That's all she, and so she just that's how the segment went. It was a very high rated segment. It got, we put it online, got a lot of views. A lot of people were really excited about it. Viewers liked it. I liked it. And we were in the process of starting a series about it.
Oh, that's great.
Girl, do you know the next day, someone from the Corn Association
Shut up.
emailed the head of the station threatening a lawsuit saying that the doctor that we had on, that there were other doctors, who I'm sure you paid, other doctors.
There are lots of doctors on our payroll.
Lots of doctors we pay a lot of money for to say what we want. And so it was this whole conflict. And I remember that
disgusting.
My boss came down because, and it's not her fault. It wasn't my executive producer's fault or my producer's fault. They told me I had to take the segment down and we had to pretty much act like it never happened. And
oh my God.
I was so upset because I didn't understand, because I was like, what is the problem? We're supposed to be a news station and she's telling the truth. There's hard scientific research to back up what she was saying. And it blew my mind. And that changed for me. That changed how I looked at news for me. That triggered me, because less than a year after that happened, I moved to LA. And because I was like, it made me stop and realize, Chelsea, if you stay here, this is how it's going to be. Anytime you try to do something that may be considered edgy or
that's not even
true.
that.
And it's not edgy.
Why couldn't they have said? I mean, not that this was. I don't know. Why couldn't they have said we're going to have another expert who could oppose that, or even having a debate?
But that's what's so crazy is I reached out to somebody from the Corn Association to come on and do a segment, and they never responded. I sent them multiple emails. So for me, it's you can't even say that I didn't try to have.
Right.
So.
And if they're doing that for something like that,
a local girl, we are a local affiliate in Richmond, Virginia.
What else is going on?
Exactly.
On such a higher level.
I can't imagine what the head of the CNN newsroom, what kind of emails they get, or the head of MSNBC or NBC. I cannot even imagine But that was one of those moments I'll never forget because that clicked in my mind. I was like, Chelse, if you work in news, you're not going to be able to tell the truth because the advertiser, and then of course I found out, through the grapevine of the news station that we had multiple advertisers that were affiliated with the Corn Association as well. And so I'm just like, oh, I get it, and it is what it is. But I'm grateful that it happened because it made me go, you know what? I'm just going to go and actually pursue my dreams,
And tell the truth.
And I didn't even know that I was going to do stand-up. I didn't start stand-up until I've been living in LA for 3 months. So I moved out here with the intention to act and, and exactly. And then, stand-up, me and stand-up locked eyes one night and, and then...
What was your first foray into stand-up?
Well, a lot of crazy roommates situations my first 3 months. Like, my first person I stayed with, my homegirl, she's great. Like, I stayed with her for 6 weeks, and, she has 2 cats that are really dope. But after 6 weeks, I was like, okay, girl, I was interfering with her hookup scenario, her little rotation. And I get it. I was like, all right, girl. And so... After that, it was like I found a roommate on Craigslist, so this went well, and he was Asian in look, but he had a Russian accent, and then I learned about
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so then I learned about this whole new country called Kyrgyzstan, which is right between Russia and China, right? So I was like, okay, and the day that I came into the apartment to look at it, I saw a roach crawl across the floor. Now. I was desperate, I had a car, but I was like, I don't want to sleep in it, even though I ended up sleeping in it later, but, and I was like, okay, well, the rent's cheap and whatever. And I asked him, I said, oh, is there a roach problem? I just saw one roach crawl across the kitchen floor. And he's, oh, no roaches here, no roaches, they come, they pass by time to time, no big deal. And I'm like... Yeah, okay, well, is this like a roach transit hub? Like, I just need to know,
This is like the Southwest hub.
Right, I just need to know, like,
they come by, they wave, they leave, it's
no big deal, oh, girl, and then the day this is a lesson about listening to your gut, because my gut told me, Chelse, there's never just one roach.
There's never just one roach.
There's never! No. But, desperation, new to LA, F it,
You just wanted to get this thing going,
the second day that I lived there, I opened up the cabinets. Girl, it was the UN of roaches.
Oh my God.
It was. I saw an albino roach. I could have done I could have done an Animal Planet episode on roaches from the variety of species. And girl, something in my soul, I made him give me my money. I got out of there. I was like, oh no, man. So then...
Oh my God, an albino roach?
Girl, I was like, it was white. And
oh my God!
Girl, I couldn't. Okay, all right. So we're moving on. Okay, so now I moved out. I threw away like a lot of my clothes in my suitcase, but just definitely. So after that, I go back to Craigslist because it worked out so well the first time, and so then I found another roommate. Now this apartment, clean, no roaches in West Hollywood.
West Hollywood's great.
Right, and there's 2 guys. They were a Latino gay couple. I was like, they had the bedroom, I had the couch. I was working. I was there for almost 2 months. But then I was while they were both at work, I had gone out of the shower and I was about to get in the shower and I noticed that the laptop was open and the webcam was on and it was recording.
What?
And I said, I closed laptop because I'm about to get naked. I don't know if he was live streaming. I don't know. It was weird. And it looked like it was being remotely controlled. So.
What?
I come home. After I shower, I go to work.
Shower? Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. I showered. Great shower, by the way. Yeah. The shower head was on point. 6 settings. It was great. And then I went to work. I come home. And the guy, he's like,
did you turn off my laptop when I was trying to film the shower?
Girl, he said, he was Cuban. He was like, excuse me, did you flip my laptop lid down earlier while, and I was like, well, yeah, there was a red light on. I was about to shower. He was like, why are you changing? I don't want your naked body in my, living room. And I was like, well, no one was home, and I have to put lotion on, and the bathroom's kind of snug because, this is West Hollywood.
Oh, so this was in the living room. Oh, I thought it was in the bathroom.
No. But I was gonna shower, and since no one was home, I was gonna change in the living room. Like, who cares?
Yeah,
like, it's and lotion's gonna absorb better. It's not as steamy. It's And he just went in. He told me that he said, "You're just another basic bitch who lives on my couch." What? He was like, "You could come home and I could change the locks and have all your shit outside, and that'll just be that."
What is this about?
Like, girl, he was like, "Don't you ever like touch my belongings again." He was like, "I have a right to record anybody that I feel like recording because I have a right to protect my home. I have a right to protect my stuff." And I'm like, I knew right then. I was like, okay, I gotta get out of here. But Thanksgiving was a few days away, so I knew he was gonna cook. So I just kind of the night after that happened, this was November 7th that happened, and the next day, November 8th, after work, I didn't want to go back to the house. So I was just sitting in my car. I was in Hollywood. I said, what am I gonna do? I was like, and I had told people over the last few months that my stories, and they were like, "Oh, you should try comedy." And I respect comedy so much, I mean, grew up, my dad had all these vinyls, and Red Fox vinyls, and Rich Pryor vinyls, and my dad was obsessed with Chappelle's show, and my dad was in the audience at Killing Him Softly, actually. He was like, the guy who stood up and high-fives Chappelle, like, my dad was sitting right behind that guy.
I was like, he was that guy? Not that I even remember, but so... Yeah, my dad saw him too.
Right, exactly. And he, so I think that, when people told me, I was like, what, stand-up? No, like, I can't do that.
Who was telling you to do stand-up?
Just people that I had met at, like, bars, and, people at karaoke.
You're going all Chelse in on them, like, saying funny shit.
Yeah, I was just talking, and, so I was sitting there, and I was like, let me look up if there's any open mics, because I did used to do poetry in Virginia, so I was like, maybe I'll just go do some poetry. And when I got to the Pig and Whistle, they were having an open mic, Pig and Whistle on Hollywood Boulevard, and I was like, go in the basement, and there's like 7 people there. It was very dark, and then I was like, maybe I'll just do comedy. I was like, maybe I should just talk about what's going on in my life, because it's like, it's really frustrating, and I needed to just get it out, and I just couldn't afford therapy at the time, so I was like, well, let me just do this. And I got up there, and I was like, I think the fact that no one was there and it was so dark, I was like, well, you suck, who cares? There's like 6 people here, half of them are drunk. And I went up there and I just ranted. And vented. And it just was like, and afterwards people were like, oh my gosh, you're a comedian. Like, you should keep doing this. And I was like, oh, well, I did feel like I higher than I'd ever had from any sexual encounter at that time. So, I was like, well, maybe this is like, and so, fast forward, Googling open mics. A few months later, shout out to Rivers Langley, he's another comic who told me about the Comedy Bureau. I saw him at a mic that following January. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, if you're looking for mics, go to thecomedybureau.com. And that became a resource. And through that, I met people, went shows, and here we are. I just had my 6th year anniversary, November 8th.
Yay!
So, yeah, girl.
Congrats.
Yeah, but, I mean, I think I'm grateful. You go back and when you're in those moments where you've got the roach-infested apartment, and then you've got the psycho roommate who's recording you and threatening you, and you're like, going through, you're like, why am I going through this? This sucks. But sometimes, like, that's the shit that's gonna push you. If things had gone great, if I'd moved to LA and I found a great apartment right away and was making good money right away, I probably would have never even tried stand-up, And I'm grateful that I did. Stand-up is definitely my first love. Like, I can sing and I can act, and I have taken acting classes and studied and all of that, but
poetry,
yeah, and I'm
a writer, obviously, from the producing and all that, yeah.
And I'm grateful for the gifts that God's blessed me with, but I realized that stand up is like, if somebody told me, Chelse, I gotta pick one, I would pick comedy. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, that's a sign that, like, that's how I know I'm a true comedian, because I mean, even the fact that it affects my mood, if I don't. It's like not...
You don't get up a certain amount of times.
It's like sex. It really is like sex, because it's like, if you're my friends who've been in relationships and then, like, they're used to having sex all the time and the relationship ends and they're like, oh my God, like, I'm used to getting D, like, what I want, I'm irritable, and then it's kind of the same thing with comedy. Like, if I go, like, a few days without getting up, it affects me. I feel like, oh no, something's off, nope, we gotta go on stage. So... Yeah. Yeah.
I feel you on that. I figure I'm not going to share the number, but I've figured out a number to where if I do comedy at least this amount of times a month, then I won't go crazy. Like, I won't get depressed.
Yeah.
Like, I have a minimum.
You have to have a minimum.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's so weird. But I guess, that's a sign that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Or you're an addict. I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Hey, you know what? If your addiction is getting on stage and telling people jokes, make people laugh, that's not a bad addiction.
Yeah. That's true. Oh, man, that was so interesting. I've never heard that story before.
Yeah.
I'm a little traumatized. So how'd you get out of that?
Well,
the next one.
So I waited until after Thanksgiving because,
Did you eat there?
Oh, yeah, I ate there. I was like, girl. And then I think he was feeling extra apologetic, so he got the good wines and we were drinking the good wines.
Oh, so he got sheepish after that a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. But I mean, at that point, you've shown me your true colors. So, like a true woman and a true Virgo, I've left you mentally. I'm just working on the physical. Like, I'm on work, women, that's how we do. You lose us in the mind, okay, this friendship's over, this roommate situation's over.
If we stop caring or reacting, we're done.
That's not exactly. It's just, and now we're just phasing out. The details are phasing. But I ended up living in my car after that for 7 months. Well, 6, 7 months.
How did that work?
I got a gym membership, girl,
Okay.
and hit that shower. Oh yeah, because
what gym was that?
24-hour fitness.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a good deal, $40 a month, and I did still have a job.
It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, and that was the thing.
So you slept in your car though?
I slept in my car. I mean, some people would let me crash at their places, but I also was new to stand up. I was still new to LA. I just was something told me just don't give up, and I almost gave up about 6 months into stand up. It was May, and I had a show at the Ha, and I was sitting in my car. And mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, just drained, spiritually drained, just feeling what am I doing? I was I have a college degree and why am I sleeping in a Ford Focus? I'm not even sleeping in an Audi or a Tesla. I'm sleeping in a Ford Focus. It's and I had a show at the Ha, and I had some people who I'd met at the gym. They came. So
you mean at home?
Oh, home, right. Right. We meet at home. So we move from my house. 3 treadmills over. I made them laugh at the gym in conversation. I invited them to my show, and they came. And so it was one of those bringer shows where it's whoever brings the most people gets the most time and gets to go up last. So I brought 6 people, whopping 6 people. So they were okay, Chelsea, you go last. Right before I get on stage, seconds before I get on stage, Damon Wayans walks in.
Oh,
girl! Again, I was in my car outside the club before the show, looking up flights to go home. Legit was I can't do this. I'm a failure. What am I doing, Chelsea? So he comes in. He's in the back, and I get up there, and I told myself right in front. I said, Chelsea, Damon Wayans is here. But fuck that nigga, okay? You cannot let him get in your space and just go. I get up there, and I had, at that point, one of my best sets. And because I just kind of let go, and I think in the back of my mind, I thought, well, Chelsea, you're about to leave LA anyway, who cares? Yeah. And after I got off stage, he came up and he did his set, which of course was hilarious, and then he tapped me on his way out and said, hey, you were funny. He was keep it up. And I was
that means everything.
Girl. And I'm and meanwhile, I'm having an internal explosion of all these, you're Damon Wayans, oh my God, Major Payne, oh my God, you think oh my God. Going through his credits in my head. And I was and I said to him, I said, really? He was yeah. He was yeah, no, you were really funny. He was just he said, make sure you keep working, keep doing this. And I'm not gonna get emotional. But I just think about how close I was to really just
I guess me goosebumps.
I was oh God, I was literally about to call my dad and said, Dad, buy me a plane ticket. I can't do this anymore. And who's to say that's why he came in he came in, there's no reason, he's Damon Wayans. He just decided he was working on some stuff and he just wanted to come that night. And girl, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. To me, I know everyone believes in whatever higher power. I believe in God, and I know that was that was God. just saying, Chelsea, like,
divine intervention. Yeah.
Chelsea, you're doing the right thing. Like, don't give up. It's okay. And then, like, right after that, I found somebody to stay with, and spent the next, 18 months, like, couch surfing, and then I finally got a job, and I got an apartment, and then was homeless again, like, after that apartment situation. But I'm in a good place now. Now I have a place I've been at for a year. The rent is very affordable. I'm very grateful, and I'm just glad I didn't give up,
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't give up. And
Me too.
Yeah, but, like, all the bullshit, the bad stuff, it's worth it, I think that's my biggest takeaway from, like, these last 6 years of doing comedy. It's like, sometimes I think that comics, we go through so much crap, and we battle so many, like, demons, we battle so much stuff in our head and our spirit, because that's how powerful what we do is. It's like, laughter is healing. Like, I mean, like, I've had people come to me after a set and say, oh my God, I was having a really bad day, or my mom's in the hospital, and, like, you made me feel better. And it's like, to have, like, that kind of a gift that we can do that we can really change people's entire mood, Somebody can see a stand-up performer change the whole trajectory of their whole life because they laughed and they just forgot about the bullshit for a second. And you think about that and you're like, you know what? Like, no, that's why we're constantly, I feel like there's this attack, like there's this spiritual attack on comedians, like, and like, what is happening? Because we can take the worst shit, we can take the worst stuff and make it funny. Like, that's magical, Sorry, I'm pulling my nose.
Like alchemist.
Sorry, I'm like, is this my therapist's office? Like,
no, that was really powerful. Have you seen Damon Wayans since? Have you told him that?
Oh, well, my anniversary, I posted on Instagram, I tagged him, whatever, and I said, thank you for saying that. And then I saw him maybe a few weeks after that initial night, and I just asked him, I was like, I respect you, and I just wanted to ask any advice you could give me as a new comedian. And he said, never ever lose your perspective. Find your perspective and keep it. Because he was like, your perspective is the key. He said that comedians, there's a stream of consciousness with comedians. And he was like, look, comedians, like, how many comedians have a topic or bits or material about abortion or about, Obama when Obama was president, or about relationships or whatever? He was like, those are like topics that have like an infinite amount of like perspectives that you can have on it. But he said that's what makes comedians stand out, is having that clear perspective. And so he was like finding that, and that's all wrapped up in finding you, that's all wrapped up in the more in tune I get with myself, the clearer that my perspective is going to be on stuff,
I mean, it's totally related. I had this acting teacher that said something I'll never forget. He said, your acting problems are your life problems, and your life problems are your acting problems.
Yes.
And I just would think about that in so many situations. It's like, oh, I'm having trouble being vulnerable. Oh, I'm having trouble being vulnerable.
Yes,
it's the same thing. And I think there's like a feedback loop. As one gets better, the other one does, and vice versa. So,
absolutely, 100%. And so I think that's the thing, is like, owning my perspective. I feel like now I'm at this place. I just put out my first comedy album.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, I have a comedy album out. It's called Down Dog. There's no tears on there. Don't worry.
Tears of laughter.
Tears of laughter. And it's on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, and I just found I'm on Tidal. So if you want to support a Black-owned business.
Okay.
And
it's called Downward Dog?
No, just a Down Dog. Yeah.
Down Dog. Okay, by Chelse Greaux.
Yes.
Look that up.
Just think about what you say to your boyfriend. Down Dog.
And where can people find you on social media?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Chelse G Comedy. So it's at CHELSE Comedy. And that's where I'm at.
All right, cool. Do you have a website or anything? Or?
Under construction, but under construction. But I definitely will blast it on my socials when I have it up.
Okay, look up Chelse, guys. Check out her album. Thank you so much for being here. And
thank you so much. And thank you for being my pseudo therapist, girl. This is great.
You were great. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, guys, if you like this episode, which if you didn't, you're a sociopath. Please rate, subscribe, share, and leave a review, and I'll give you a little shout out. Thank you guys so much for listening to A Little Advice.